Welcome back to the tutorial course on Android app development. In this lecture, we will discuss events. We will also learn how to use the events using listeners. Events identify the interaction of a user with the interactive components of an app. Some common examples of events are button click and screen touch. Next, learn about the event listeners. When considering events within a user interface, the goal is to capture the events from the specific view object that the user interacts with. The view class helps you achieve this goal. An event listener is an interface in the view class that contains a single callback method. This method is called by the Android framework when the view, to which the listener has been registered, is triggered by the user interaction with the item in the UI. Let's learn some common event listener callback methods on the subsequent slides. We will start with the onClick event listener callback method. We learned about events in Section 2, Lecture 6. Let's now put them to use. Let's get back to Android Studio. We have already created a button for views and layouts. Now, we will implement the onClick method on the button. Open the fragment settings.xml file for setting fragments. Note the edit text and button code blocks. Let's go back to the settings fragment class file. Here, we have created the reference object for the button using the ID in the following way. Now, let's set the onClick listener method to enter BTN in the following way. The parameter to this is an object that implements view.onClickListener using the following code snippet. Inside the view.onClickListener method, we should define the onClick method that will act as a callback method for the user event, such as click. Consider the following code snippet. Here, we can make a toast to determine whether the event listener is working. Let's run the app in the emulator. We will see a toast when we click the button. If we have multiple click listeners inside an activity or fragment, we can simply implement the view.onClickListener for the parent class as shown in the following code snippet. We can then implement the method with the following code snippet. Inside the onClick method, we can distinguish the click events for each view using an ID. Now, let's discuss the onKey event listener callback method. The onKey method is called when a user focuses on an item and presses or releases the hardware key on a device. Let's create an event listener for this event using edit text. The steps to create different event listeners are similar, only the method and interface name change. Consider the following code snippet to create an event listener. Using the onKey method, we can handle the key event. For example, we can show a toast when the user presses the enter button. Consider the following code snippet to create the key event. Now let's run the app in the emulator. Click inside Edit Text. The keyboard appears. Press the Enter key inside it. The toast will be displayed. Now that we understand the onKey event listener, let's discuss the onTouch event listener method. Using TextView, we will check the onTouch event listener method. In the following code snippet, we have TextView inside our settings fragment UI. Now, let's set an onTouch listener using the following code snippet. Let's give a toast inside the onTouch method to denote the touch event in the following code snippet. Now, let's run the app in the emulator to check if it's working. We can see the toast. This brings us to the end of our discussion on events.